Hello everyone. McGill's Big 3, side bridge. What I'm going to talk to you about today is how to perform that exercise with the best possible technique for the best possible results. As ever with these exercises, you should think about any pain that you may have and moderate the load that you create, the force that you generate in your abdominal muscles, and the difficulty level that you push yourself to with this exercise in the context of how much pain you feel. These exercises should not provoke your pain. That's very important. Always moving within a pain-free range of movement. So let's start. The side bridge is the same movement that you would perform if you were doing a glute bridge. So this movement, it's a hip hinge. Now, at no point in this exercise should there be a break in the hollow shape, the lordosis in the lumbar spine. We're not curling or rolling through the pelvis and the lower back. This is not a mobility exercise. This is a stability exercise. So we are going to keep that hollow neutral spine shape in the lower back. We're going to keep it through the full spine, in fact. And as with other exercises in this series, we're going to use bracing. We're going to engage all of the abdominal muscles all at once in order to provide that wraparound stability. So it's simply this hip hinge exercise turned through 90 degrees. An added dimension here is that we're going to involve the shoulder stabilizing muscles. So as I relax in this position, you can see that this part of my torso is kind of curved. I've kind of sagged into my shoulder here. What I tend to say to patients is to straighten this line. So straighten up that line between your shoulder and your hips. Some people will encourage you to move the hip in this direction so that you've still got your hips and knees and feet and shoulders all stacked up on top of one another, but you can see as I bring my hip down into this position, that naturally straightens this line anyway. So you should feel like you're kind of pushing the floor away through your elbow. Gives a nice stable shoulder position. If you have any concerns about a little bit of weakness in your shoulder, you can take your spare arm and you can put it on top of the shoulder and really pull the shoulder down, lock it into place. You can keep it there throughout this whole exercise. Otherwise, the arm just comes out, again, in a sort of neutral position out alongside you. So once you've set the shoulder, then you can come out of this little crook lying position and you can bring the hips up and forwards into line between the knees and the shoulder. And you're going to hold, just like with the other McGill Big 3 exercises, for about 8 to 10 seconds, trying to keep breathing throughout the hold. And then when you're ready to come back to your starting position, be very, very conscious that what you're doing is sending your hips back and sitting the hips back down, maintaining that stable shoulder position all the way through the movement. Important that once you're ready to come down, you don't just think, oh, the exercise is done, collapse. That is not controlling your neutral spine position or your core stability through both phases of the exercise, and you run the risk of creating some strain and potentially some discomfort as you just lose that stability on your way down. So think hips forwards, hips back, and you can rest in between each repetition, or if you're strong enough and stable enough and comfortable enough, you can just come up and forwards, come down and back, touch and go again. I'm not holding at the top for 8 to 10 seconds. It's more of a dynamic movement, but it's perhaps a little variation on the theme. So it's as simple as that. Now, how many should you do? Russian pyramid style. Start with more repetitions in your first set, fewer in the second set, fewer in the third set. So as you fatigue, you do fewer so that you can keep the technique good. Maybe start with 5 if you're brand new to it all on each side, and then in your second set do 3 repetitions on either side, and then come to do 1 repetition all by itself, but a really, really good one in your third and final set. Take a little rest in between, get up, walk around, shake it off for about 30 seconds to a minute perhaps, or as long as you really need to get comfortable again and ready to go once more. As you get better, vary it in terms of perhaps doing the touch and go rather than the 8 to 10 second holds each time. And once you get really good at it, then you can switch to this. I'm just going to use the other side just to even it up. You can go from your crook lying position to a straight leg position. So this is kind of side plank, and the top leg foot goes in front of the bottom, and we're going to again set the shoulder and then elevate the hips so that we all come into a straight line between the shoulders and the feet this time. We're obviously missing out the knees. You can take this into a slightly more dynamic version as well by rolling into a plank position, and then from there over onto the other side. Trying to make sure that we're not rolling the hips first or the shoulders first, but that we're taking both hips and shoulders together. It's tricky. For me, it's that moment when you lift the elbow off the deck in that plank position, and you've only got 3 points of contact now with the floor, that it becomes really difficult. So keep pushing the floor away with the shoulders, because that stability in your shoulders is really, really important to prevent you collapsing further down the torso towards the hips. Really brace those abdominal muscles, hold that stable shape, keep the hips and the shoulders moving together through that movement, not hips first then shoulders round, or shoulders round then hips round. Same principles, Russian pyramid, reps and sets, you know how that works. Give it a try, see how you enjoy it or don't enjoy it. Let me know, comment down below, ask any questions, and I hope it helps. I'll see you on the next video.